been a challenging few years, for sure. But I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive. Make a wish, buddy.
Wait, Wilson?
Who's asking? Whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Miss Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I was unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me.
Wait.
You are special. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus. This part. You don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. No, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
That's it! Come on! We wanted to see Wolverine! Welcome back to Movies TV Mag. You can follow me on X at Movies TV Mag and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mag X. A very warm welcome to the DC and Marvel show. But Mick, you promised us a brand new episode of the DC Universe Daily. Well, it's kind of the same thing, but we're talking about Marvel as well. That's why it's called the DC and Marvel show, because of course we had a Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, the first trailer for this movie, a very anticipated movie. But what did I make of this Super Bowl trailer? Well, you know what? I don't think it's the bestest ever, like everyone's saying. I don't think it's the worstest thing ever, but it's the first introduction to this movie. It's the first trailer. I enjoyed it. As you could see, I was really enjoying it, but really frustrated that we didn't get to see Hugh Jackman properly in the flesh as Wolverine, as Logan. I'm not having a go at them, by the way. You know, I don't blame them. He's the reason that people's, interest is piqued in this movie. My opinion about Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and the franchise to me is you did it once. You did it well. I really enjoyed the first movie. Deadpool 2 was okay, but you were kind of doing the same thing, breaking the fourth wall. As I say, it was okay with the first movie, and it was different because they had a different villain and all of that. I get it, but it was old hat by Deadpool 2. This is the problem with breaking the fourth wall and doing kind of send-ups of Janniers. It's like Police Academy 4 and Aeroplane. They did a few Aeroplane movies, lots of Police Academy movies. The first few were all right, but then it became old hat. And my opinion is it's the same with Deadpool. And this is why Reynolds went and brought in Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. They needed something. They really needed something to make people interested. Because even though the second film did okay based on the fanfare of the first film, I felt we've done this now. There's nothing more to be doing. And I felt the same thing with Deadpool 3. Before they announced Jackman as Wolverine coming back, I felt, do you know what? I'm not that interested. And then you hear that. Now, I'm cynical. I thought, yeah, cameo bait. Now, let's talk about the trailer specifically, because it's very interesting that they're using the TVA. This film, unlike the other two, is made in conjunction with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. It's clear they're using this movie to reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Whether you like Phase 4 or you hate Phase 4 and you hate the beginning of Phase 5 or you love it, the franchise is in deep trouble. It's not making money. A lot of people hate it. The over-reliance on D+ content as well, and over kind of saturating the MCU with D+ content, mid D+ content at the very least, hasn't worked for them either. They should have done this. I think Deadpool, I'm not sure, did Disney own Fox at the time? When I think if they knew they were buying Fox, after Endgame, I would have given it a bit of a rest and then come back with this movie and reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Deadpool. Because they're using the TVA. The TVA watch over the multiverse, as we know. They're doing that for a reason. He's calling himself Marvel Jesus, which is very funny, but he's saying it for a reason. So I think this is the film that resets, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also, when we look at the TVA screens, we see older MCU movies. We see, Avengers 2, Avengers Age of Ultron. We see a bit of that. We see Captain America, the real Captain America. Sorry, Falcon fans, it's a fact. So it's very interesting. They're celebrating the older version of the MCU, the kind of Phase 1 and Phase 2, kind of the popular phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is also very, very interesting if you ask me. So I have no doubt in my mind from what I've seen in this trailer that they are resetting the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which absolutely excites me. But what's interesting is what stays and what goes. It's interesting. And, this all kind of makes sense. This is why they went back to the drawing board with Daredevil Born Again, right? They started it, they made episodes, and they admitted they got it wrong, and they went back to the drawing board. I believe they went back to the drawing board for many reasons, but I think it was to reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Feige is going to be in a lot of trouble now with James Gunn running DC Universe, because Gunn has a specific vision for DC. There's no question about that, whether you like Gunn or hate Gunn. I like Gunn. I'm interested in what he's attempting to do. I'm 75% on board, and the other 15% is like, few red flags, but I like what you're selling at the very least. And obviously, as a Snyderverse DC fan, very frustrated what happened with all of that. But that's in the past. I'm not going to hate another creative because studio, were very toxic towards another director. We can't be lunatics at the end of the day. But anyway, with Gunn cooking, Superman Legacy comes out next year. In the past, when the MCU was cooking in the first few phases, it helped them that they had, let's say, a DC that wasn't loved by the mainstream audience. That helped them. Everyone was building up. The audience online were building up the MCU. Why can't DC be like Marvel? All that shit. Well, now we could have a situation where the fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe fans are saying, why can't Marvel be like DC? We don't know what Gunn's doing with Legacy and the rest of them. But it sounds very, very exciting. This is the DC and Marvel show. We'll get to DC. Some interesting developments with that as well. So it's clear they're resetting the MCU. So I think a lot of the previous members of the Avengers may come back. Some. I'm not sure if Robert Downey Jr. is interested in coming back. He doesn't sound like he is, I don't know. But anything's possible. Chris Evans as Captain America, yeah. I think there's a big chance of that. But they're going to reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a good thing, but it's also a problematic thing. Because now, with Phase 4 and the beginning of Phase 5 being so problematic, the audience know it's been problematic. So Feige and Marvel Studios have lost that kind of invincibility that they know what they're doing. That's the thing. Before, Feige he knows what he's doing. He basically was Marvel Jesus. We heard Deadpool saying he's Marvel Jesus in this trailer. But what's very interesting about this whole situation is that he's not Marvel Jesus anymore, Feige. We've seen a chink in his armor. He doesn't look like the big Supremo he once did. So that's my first takeaway from this trailer, which I did enjoy, but I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. And even though it looks okay, it doesn't say must see. Not to me personally. I need to see more. But I don't want the whole movie given away. So first takeaway is that they're using Deadpool 3 to reset the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they have to do something. That creatively they've run the franchise into the ground. No one's telling you can't be diverse, but diversity should be quiet. You should make everyone have an opportunity for roles, right? Whatever colour they are, right? And then cast the right people. Stop employing activists as writers and directors. Do what you were doing before. Give everyone an opportunity. Stop talking about diversity. Stop talking about how brave and powerful you are for being diverse. Just make good shit. That's how it works. And that's a message for the rest of Hollywood, not just Disney and Marvel Studios. So that's my first takeaway from this trailer. So I think that's why the TVA are involved in this story. So it's very, very interesting. I think this film is going to be mainly cameo bait. As I said earlier, this is the selling point of this movie. Because as I say, before Wolverine was announced for this movie, I didn't see it. I just didn't see what the interest level of another Deadpool movie would be. You could see it making 500 million or so and doing okay, but you're just doing the same things again. Oh, wow, you're breaking the fourth wall. You're looking at the camera. Oh, big deal. As I say, the first film did that, and that was great, and that was something new to a point, but then when you're doing it again and again, it's boring. And I think if Ryan Reynolds is going to play this character again, and in the trailer we see the text that every hero deserves a happy ending. So is this an ending for Deadpool, or are they talking about Wolverine's happy ending? Now this is set, to be clear, prior to Logan, so they don't mess with what Mangold did, which I think is very important. Now Mangold's not very happy that Jackman returned to play Wolverine again, and what I've heard him say, that's pretty obvious. And personally, from a moral point of view, I don't blame him for thinking that. But yeah, I think this could be the happy ending for Wolverine rather than Deadpool. But if Deadpool is going to come back and do more stories, I think they need to look at telling his stories at a level. Him just being a character, not a breaking the fourth wall character. They may need to change it. Because as I say, once it's been done once, you do it again, it's okay, you do it again, and it's boring. Even in this trailer, I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it and I'm finding it fun and all of that, but it's becoming a bit old hat. You're thinking, haven't we actually been here? Anyway, yeah, so I like the trailer. I think it's exciting for fans to see it. It's much anticipated. And as I said before, the highlight of this film is, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on screen together. That's what people are looking forward to, and that is what I am looking forward to. But expect this film to change the Marvel Cinematic Universe forever. Before I move on to DC, I want to say something about this trailer and about this film. At the very least, this film is bringing excitement again, like Top Gun Maverick did, like Spider-Man No Way Home did. This is your blockbuster ticket. You need to excite audiences, and at the very least, this is exciting. Rather than the usual trope of the strong female, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. Now, when I was growing up, they didn't need stunts like this, obviously. Superman the movie was the first Superman film. then that franchise had its sequels. Back to the Future was a new thing. There was no kind of stunt. You know, this is a stunt. This is a stunt movie at the end of the day. They had to do this because there was nothing more to do with Deadpool. And as I said earlier, there'd been not much interest level in this film. But at the very least, this is something to excite audiences. Well, James Gunn is exciting audiences before they see anything that he's planning with the DC universe. And his plans are going down very, very well. And he's trying to make Threads his platform. Something very interesting happened on his Instagram because he posted Dave Bautista's interview where he said he'd love to work with James Gunn over at DC. Actors want to work, surprise, surprise. He loves Gunn, he wants to work with Gunn. So Gunn kind of said on that post that he's asking us, the fans, to make suggestions. What DC character would we like to see Dave Bautista play? And he said, let me know over on Threads. He's clearly he's trying to obviously make Threads a more popular social media platform, but it's good. We can go over there and we can have conversations, and he's really responding to fans, and it's very, very exciting. And let me know in the comments down below, who do you think Dave Bautista should play in DC Universe? Now, I've got one that, you know, I hate typecasting and I hate boxing actors. As an actor myself, I hate actors being boxed in total roles. So, you know, he could play certain kind of big beefcake characters, but I think maybe cast him as Perry White. You weren't expecting that, were you? And I think I did mention it to James Gunn because I think it's, as I say, nobody's expecting it. He's got the personality. I can see him in his own office shouting at Lois, shouting at Clark, and I think it will be different because I heard rumours they're looking for an actor of colour, a diverse actor to play Perry. Anyway, well, right, he ain't white, is he? Is he white? I'm not sure. Do we call him white? I mean, he's Latin, right? He's Latinx, right? Would we call Dave Bautista Latinx? I don't know. Listen, I don't want to be ignorant here, but I wouldn't say he's a pure white American, right? He's obviously diverse to a point. So sorry, Dave, if I've got it wrong. But anyway, I think he would be a great Perry White because it's different. And he's got the personality to do it. I've seen Dave play caricatures, when he's acting, when he's proper acting. Dave Bautista is a better actor than people give him credit. But I tell you what, over this past weekend, James Gunn has been speaking a lot to the fans, and he said so many bloody things, I can't keep track of it. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of DCU leaks. Now, they used to be called DCEU leaks, and they changed it. There's something very interesting happened because they started posting some stories going around on plans for DCU. Then they quickly said that their source was leaving them, didn't want to do it anymore, and they weren't going to be leaking anything anymore. Could it be that James Gunn gave them a spank bottom? Very, very interesting. But don't forget, these platforms sometimes pretend I'm leaving Twitter, I'm doing this, and really it's all fucking attention seeking. If I do that, I'm leaving X and I'm leaving YouTube and I'm not doing videos anymore, nobody gives a fucking shit. So there's no point me pretending I'm going to stop doing it, because I'm not going to stop doing it, not ever, because I fucking love it. I do it for me. I'm obviously not doing it for the views and attention because I don't fucking get any. Anyway, someone asked him about the casting process of casting Millie Alcock as Supergirl. And he says something very, very interesting because, you know, the guy was saying, well, shouldn't it be the director who chooses the actress? And he said, how do you know it was just me and Peter in the audition process for Supergirl? So that led me to think that maybe he's already chosen it. He and Peter have already chosen the director for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and she was in on this casting process. Now, I'm really, really kind of worried about this situation. I want us to get a really good director for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I don't want it to be, it's obviously going to be a woman. Fine. You know, that's cool. I don't think only women can direct women. I think that's a pathetic kind of point of view, right? Good directors can direct and make great movies, right? And I think it's important, you know, whoever does this really needs to know this comic book and is going to have to study this comic book. And that's fine. But I hope that they get a capable director, and it's not a checkbox director. You know, let's do it right. Let's not make the mistakes that the Marvel Cinematic Universe were doing during Phase 4 and the beginning of Phase 5. It hasn't worked, and I'm sure James Gunn's smarter than that. So I think he already knows who the director is, and he's just not telling us who the director is. I mean, listen, there's some, I mean, if you want me to be, if you want me to shock you in a prediction that probably won't come true, and it's very unlikely, Karen Gillan has directed. Karen Gillan, who obviously was in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, who played, what's her bloody name? Big Doctor Who fan, by the way, and I've forgotten the character she played. What's her bloody name? Anyway, Karen Gillan. I can't remember. I can't believe I've forgotten the character Karen Gillan played in Doctor Who. This happens to me. I ain't doing the video again. Fuck it. Anyway, Karen Gillan, I wanted her to play Lois Lane, redhead, all of that. I wonder if Rachel Brosnahan, by the way, will dye her hair red to play Lois. That will be interesting as well. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that. Probably not, but we'll see. Anyway, Karen Gillan has become a bit of a good director. So I think Karen Gillan will be a great pick to direct Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Again, very, very unlikely. Big project. I think she's done a couple, one or two small movies, so it would be a very kind of big leap for Kaz. But I think it would be amazing if she got that gig. But it will be interesting who Gunn has chosen to direct Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Now, the rumours from DCU Leaks, before they decided to retire from doing DCU Leaks, they won't. They'll be back. Trust me. But anyway, they said there's a Teen Titans movie in development. Now, another rumour which I found, I found hilarious, and I think I've even forgotten this director's name. You know that guy who directed The Fountain with Hugh Jackman? You remember that film, The Fountain? What's his bloody name? I can't believe it. I'm not doing well with names. Anyway, it was really funny. Now, Gunn saw these leaks and said, one of these leaks is not true. At least one of these leaks isn't true. So that's interesting. Darren, I've got it. I remember now. Darren Aronofsky. Darren Aronofsky is a very critically acclaimed director. He's a la-di-da director, if you like. So the rumour was that he was going to direct a Plastic Man movie. Now, I love Plastic Man from the days I saw him in the Batman, the Brave and the Bold animated series. But to think that Darren Aronofsky would direct a Plastic Man movie is laughable, unless James and him have come up with a really creative arty-farty take on the character. Very unlikely, but it wouldn't surprise me if James has gone to Aronofsky, because James has been very ambitious on the directing and writing talent that he's approached for these movies. And look, if Darren Aronofsky was actually attached to a Plastic Man movie, no one would be more excited about that than me. And obviously a Teen Titans movie would be very, very exciting. So there's as I say, there was a few rumours going on over the weekend, and James Gunn was very, very vocal over the weekend with fans, responding to fans. Is very interesting, considering that, you know, a lot of the stinks come out as well about, like, the Looney Tunes movie maybe being shelved. He doesn't speak about publicly, he doesn't speak about that. Obviously, it's very, very difficult for him. But it's clear he's not going anywhere. He's not going to walk because they're going to shelve that movie. He produced that Looney Tunes movie. So it's clear he's smart enough to understand, look, yeah, I don't want that movie shelved. I think it's outrageous they're going to shelve this movie if they do. But, you know, I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. I'm not going to fuck up a career opportunity, one of the greatest career opportunities. You know, I'm going to be directing a Superman movie. That is fucking huge. And as I've said many times, this is a make or break career opportunity for James Gunn. He's not stupid. He knows what a risk he's taking. He's going to be developing a whole universe. Now, I believe a lot of people have got so many, people have got so many rumors out there about what the next thing is. I still think I'd be very surprised that if anything starts shooting before Superman Legacy is released. Now that would mean there's a big gap in between films. So it will be interesting. I think what they may do, the only thing that may start shooting may be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I think they may start treading carefully with developing, at the very least, that movie. But you've noticed that nothing's going on with Brave and the Bold. No casting, there's not a writer attached, there's a director attached to Andres Muschietti, and that's it. So it's clear that they're taking their time, and I don't think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to start making a multitude of projects before Superman Legacy is released, so they know if this thing is a win or a loss. I think, as I've said before, this was the problem with the DCEU. Man of Steel, then BVS, they were making these things back to back. And there wasn't any chance to analyse the first movie for the studio and say, right, this is working, this is not working, let's go another direction. This is why they kind of had to change Justice League, or they felt they had to after BVS and the first Suicide Squad. And they interfered with that movie because it was already made. That's the problem. They'd already spent money on making that Justice League movie. Now, doing what they did and bringing Whedon in and creating Justice League was clearly a fucking mistake, and it wasn't the right way to go. But they got themselves in trouble. Here with the DCU, it's clear they're going to take their time. It's clear that they're not going to be giving us movie after movie after movie. I think that's very important. I think if we're lucky, 2 movies a year. I don't think we'll get 2 movies a year. I think 1 movie a year is enough. I think 1 movie a year and a streaming show with DCU is more than enough. I don't think that, because we're not in that huge peak trend of superhero movies and TV. Superheroes are not the trend they once were. Now, superheroes and comics will always be popular, right? And there's always money to be made on a great CBN. No question about that. And we'll see that with Joker this year. We'll see it with Batman 2 maybe next year. I still think that movie's going to be delayed. Keep your ears open on that. I'll let you know as soon as I find out anything from my sources on that. Penguin's coming out this year. So when things are done, when things in terms of cape movies, cape TV shows are done well, there's no question butts will be on seats. No question about that. But what Marvel did with Phase 4, for example, where they just, there were so many, D+ TV shows, and they were trying to put movies out as well, it was too much. And because the too much wasn't good enough, when they were putting out 2, 3, 4 movies a year during maybe Phase 3, people were invested. The movies were better then. But something changed, and they made a mistake. They should have taken a break after Endgame and really galvanised themselves and thought about what they were doing. And from what Gunn says, Gunn's learnt that lesson himself. A movie a year, a streaming show a year is all you really need. And maybe 2 movies at the very least. But I don't think I don't think we'll see 4 or 5 DC Universe movies, or 3 or 4 max DCU shows. I just don't think that's the way they're going to go. So I think from the way Gunn's talking, he's very, very confident, and he's involving fans as well. He's sucking in people as well. But the people he's talking to are not the mainstream audience. Let's not get it twisted. He's talking to DC nerds. What he needs to do is win over the mainstream audience, which he didn't do when he was trying to promote the Flash movie and Blue Beetle. Those movies flopped. So there's a question mark whether general audiences will support DC Universe, because they haven't been supporting the Marvel Cinematic Universe either lately. So we'll see if Gunn can succeed here. But there's no question this is a big moment in Gunn's career. So it's going to be very interesting what way that goes. So thank you for joining the DC and Marvel show. I hope you enjoyed my reaction to Deadpool 3. We'll see how that movie does. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be really, really successful. We will see. I will be back tomorrow with the DC Universe Daily. Until then, have a lovely day.